look at and tweak the ad spend if needed. But I do love the fact that you had it 50-ish. I'll just use round numbers, 50-ish in and 13 contacts. That seems pretty high. And Marietta's a popular area. And my last thought is, we're really just doing marketing, and it doesn't matter what they click on. Once they click on, we got them. And the fact they're clicking on new construction certainly doesn't mean they're buying new construction. Just like sometimes reduced property doesn't mean they're not going to buy new construction. So it's really just a smart guy once told me, hey, here's all I'm trying to do is get you in a conversation. So then I had to take it from there to meet the objectives. But Michelle Young, super excited to see you on here today. James, you have any final thoughts before we get going? Then we'll let Braden and Michelle talk a little bit about her recent success.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, Michelle, let's get it started. Let's get it cracking.
Okay, actually, I came on a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not sure if this is the same audience or the same group, but I've been running an ad for Stockbridge, Georgia, for the last few months, and I've received a tremendous number of leads. I'm not sure what Kimya's, I think I'm saying her name right, her cost per lead was, but my leads are running. At first, they were running at about $275, $285 per lead. Toward the end, it slowed down a little, and they were up to about $3.85. But I think that that's great. I have closed on one of the leads that I have, and I have several in the pipeline. I've got a couple that are working on getting pre-qualified, so that we can go ahead and select a home for them. And then I have a couple that, I'm just in the early stages of engaging with them. I have one potential client that, two that are buy and sell. So the ads are keeping me busy. I have not been able to work them that much. I'm doing a lot of catch-up work because I did a lot of traveling at the beginning of the month. But now that that I'm back in the saddle, I'm making several calls to those that I have not, been able to contact yet, and am following up on those that I have that are still just browsing around. But it's been a good ad for me. It's given me lots of activity. And for those people that are just browsing, I'm sure to ask them if they know, okay, feel free to browse my website at any time. Do you know anyone that's looking? So at least one has volunteered information for someone else for me to follow up with. So it's performing well.
Cool. I got a question. So you said you've got one. Is it under contract or is it closed?
Closed.
It's closed. What price point was that?
$450.
$450. And that was it new construction or was it resale?
It was resale.
It was resale. So they came in on a new construction ad, ended up purchasing resale. Was that something that was generated? You said we've been doing this, 2 months, 60 days?
Just a little over 60 days.
Gotcha. Was that one of the first leads that had come in, or did it come in the beginning, or when did it come in?
It came in the beginning. They were a couple. I'm not sure if you were on, Braden, when I was talking about it. They came in. They were a couple from New Jersey, and I ended up going on House Hunters. I filmed an episode for House Hunters with them.
Go ahead.
I said I filmed an episode of House Hunters with them, so that'll be airing toward the end of the year. But so it was a great experience, all from my ad.
Right on. Yeah, I do remember that call now that you mentioned that.
That is so cool. What? You got to be on an episode of House Hunters?
Yes, it's going to air. They're editing now, and it'll air toward the end of the month. I mean,
That's
end
so
of
cool.
the year. End of the year.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff there. What You said you got some that you're working as well that are pre-approved already. How many is that?
They're working on their pre-qualification and should have it soon. I've got 2 that are in that stage, and I have 1 buy and sell that I think is going to be pretty quick, and then the other one's a little further off, but engaged with quite a few of them.
Nice. Yeah, that's not bad for, around 2 months in, especially to already have one closed. That's not going to say it's unheard of, but it's probably not typical to always have. Getting to be on House Hunters. What do you think the biggest, if you were telling an agent about this, what do you think the biggest factor or role that's played in getting conversion with these leads as they come in?
Engagement and follow up. I know that some people give bad phone numbers, but that's really not been that big of a thing for me. I would say that before I call, I scan through to see if they've ever looked at any of the listings that I'm sending. If they have not, I'm assuming that my ads are going to spam. And so when I call, if they answer, I'll talk about that and ask them to check their spam. If they don't answer, I'm leaving a message thanking them for registering on my website and wanting to make sure that my ads, that the listings are not going to spam. So I'm trying to direct them to go to their spam to look for my email, and sometimes I'll even send a follow-up text with the link saying, I think, you asked for this, and I think that you might be missing it because it's in your spam. So here's a link. Once you open, they'll continue to come to you, that kind of thing. So just trying to make sure that they are opening the ads, and then I'm offering information. I'm trying not to come across too salesy, just to come from a point of contribution to offer them any information that they might want or need. And one of the things of engagement as well, that I think that is important, because some people think that because you call them, that if they're not ready right now, you don't want to talk to them. But I let them know that the smoothest transactions come from people that engage and talk to an agent early on. So I encourage them to go ahead and give me information about their plans, how soon they want to move, and I help them come up with a game plan to ease into it, instead of having, to work backwards if they don't start early enough.
Nice.
Love it. Love it.
Good stuff there. One thing, just to kind of clarify, she was talking earlier. She said ads. What she was talking about going to spam is the email from the search alerts, and that can happen. And that is one thing, you kind of want to identify, pay attention to, or at least bring up, when you're talking to these leads, and making sure that A, we have the right email on file, and 2, we've got the right email. If they're not getting them, they probably are in the spam, because we have seen that happen quite a bit with this, and that's just a KB core thing. But that's just one thing to kind of pay attention to, making sure that, they're
Yeah,
checking.
no, that's great. I'm glad to know that. So that's kind of a great way also to have a good introduction when you give somebody that first call or whatever, or second call, whatever it may be. When you talk to them, I just want to, make sure, first of all, you're receiving my emails. They tend to go to spam the first time. So that's also coming in a place of being helpful. I like it. It's a good way to break the ice, just by, something little like that.
Sure.
And I also believe if it's generic emails like Gmail, Yahoo, PM.me, I saw a link in KB Core where they said a lot of those do go to spam. So if you have a different email that's not one of those, I'll say
Mhm.
wide open emails, it'll be a little bit better.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Cool. Dan, we got anything else?
I want to touch on, as Michelle said, got to come soon buy and sell side. So it looks like you may get a listing soon from this, Michelle.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's super important because some agents are like, I want listings. And then I go, that's great. Everybody wants listings, but you can't, it'd be kind of hard to have a listing without somebody probably leaving and buying a property. But, that is a big opportunity. So we're seeing, I don't know, I'm personally seeing 30 to 50%, maybe 30 to 40% list buy side after you kind of get the system down and understand how to work it. So yeah, Michelle, we appreciate you coming on, appreciate your testimonial. I'm glad it's working for you. Glad you two see it's a good foundation for the business to have some consistent lead flow and consistent opportunities. And I don't know, Braden, what's like of all the agents that you've helped with this, we talking, I think you can basically fuel a team with this. So the opportunity is way bigger than just a deal here and there and or a deal a month. But what are your thoughts on that, Braden? It can go to 2 to 3 easily, or what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think there is a point at which it becomes a little difficult to scale this. And it's not, given that you can scale it with your budget, that's one thing, right? Throwing more money at it is not always, that's not that hard to do if you have the budget to do it. It's being able to keep up with the amount of leads that are coming in, especially once you get to the point where you're out actually showing property, or going on listing appointments pretty frequently. Then that's where it becomes kind of the question of putting the right pieces in place, right? Where, we're putting somebody in place that's a VA to handle, I call it CRM, like a CRM manager, because I don't really want them making calls necessarily, but more so just managing the text messages and the leads that come in and getting them set up on search alerts, and things of that nature. And there does come a point where there's capacity for that. An agent hits their capacity of what they can handle, and that's different for every agent, right? Some agents might be able to handle a little bit more than others just due to the fact that, they're willing to put more hours and more time into the system. So it is pretty situational. But the numbers should stay true, right? As long as we keep up with, following the process as, we increase the amount of leads coming in. If we're spending 300 a month and we're doing, a deal or two, we should be able to go to 2 to 4 if we double that budget, given that the agent can keep up with that. But if the agent can't keep up with it, then, that's where it becomes problematic.
I got a question for Michelle because Brandon, you pretty much mentioned and keeping up with the people. What was their process with the follow-up? Because I know you said like just keeping in touch and stuff. Was it something specific or special that you were doing when you was making the phone calls, or were you just making the phone calls and being consistent?
Well, okay, so if there were a new lead, if I've never talked to them before, I had a specific thing that I wanted to say to those. So I would kind of handle a group of those at a time, but then I would go back to people that I know are active. I sort my KV core by who's active in the website, showing that they're visiting the website and checking in. If I don't call them, I might send a text or an email saying I'm checking in with you. I know that you're taking a look. Am I sending the right types of homes? Do you want me to make any changes? Any nearby cities, any minimum number of bedrooms, any must-haves? Let me know. I'm happy to make those changes for you. So that's one check-in. And the ones that are said that they needed to get their finances together, I've offered them a few basic tips to that they can do on their own if they want some help. I've got some people that can help, and actually, I'm going to be a loan. I just got hired on as a loan officer as well, so I'm going to be a MLO as well. So I'll be able to help some of the people with some of those things. Very shortly. I'm getting my credentials with the bank this week. I'll be able to initiate loans in 50 states, all 50 states. So that's great. Um, but you know, if I'm on the phone with someone today and they tell me that they're a year out, I comment on them being smart in starting early. Um, and I recommend that they go ahead and meet with me for a buyer's consultation. I let them know that I'm offering online or in-person buyer's consultations because I want to nail down a game plan for them. We're a year out, no less than 6 months. We're going to talk again to see how you're progressing on these action items, to make sure that your score's right. Um, and then, we'll talk about when we need that pre-qual, when we're going to get out to start looking at homes and all of those things. So, um, you know, I'm setting it up really, as coming from a point of contribution of how I'm going to help them make this easier. And I point out that so many people make the mistake of waiting till it's time and then they don't have everything in place or haven't done enough back end work and they end up having to sign a lease again because they aren't ready.
I mean, basically, everybody has, all these scripts, and I'm a scripted person. I use a whole lot of scripts, but I mean, you're just doing it just being a person that want to contribute, contribute and to help, and just following up. And I think that just is being, noticed when you're actually making the phone calls, when you're shooting the text messages, and you're following up, and just from that is the reason why people are feeling comfortable enough to want to get and do a consultation with you. And at the same time, you already got your first deal done. It's only been 60 days, so congratulations for that.
Thank you. And sometimes I'm putting them in tasks so that they're on my calendar if it's something that I don't want to miss. If I'm setting up a call, that can just really pile up in my to-dos. But if it's showing up on my calendar as a hard stop of that I really need to reach back out to this person so that I don't forget, I think that's important as well.
I know Braden has the best practices, and he goes over that stuff of how to make sure that you're putting things in the calendar, and like you said, putting people on the campaigns and things of that nature. So it's really like you were saying, just following the process. I mean, it's not hard. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's work, but it's not hard. You just got to do the process, and that's
It's mundane. It's the mundane work. It's boring. It's not fun, but it's the stuff you got to do each and every day. Yeah, the in the best practices, there's the I believe I named it the task time frame framework. Call it what you want, but essentially it's we're setting a task in the system, preferably with notes in that task. That's gonna be kind of in alignment with their situation and what that follow-up call should be. That's also in alignment with their time frame. If you look at that task time frame framework, it's 0 to 30 days is a 1 week follow-up. So if they're inside of 30 days, a 1 week follow-up, 1 to 3 months is a 2 week, 3 to 6 months is a 3 week, 6 months to a year is a 1 month follow-up. And then if they're a year out further than that, then it's a 3 month. And so the point of that is it's going to allow you to hit the statistical 7 in most cases. You'll probably be in touch with them more than that as it gets closer to the 30-day mark. But that's just kind of the bare minimum there that allows you to hit the statistical 7 number of 7 follow-ups to be able to cultivate the relationship and what we see on the average to put a deal under contract. And so it sounds like you're doing a lot of that. It sounds like you might not be using the task system for every one of the calls, which here's the deal. You do what works for you. We're kind of giving you the framework of what we see works best, and kind of really just make sure that you're following the process. But if you have a little different route that you take to getting to the same end result, there's nothing wrong with that. But that doesn't mean also that you should be just trying to find a bunch of different routes to go and then you don't get the same end result, and then that's obviously not going to work, right? So, yeah, that's good stuff. But again, it goes back to just following the process. That seems to be the common theme. Have these calls of what they what are they doing? Following the process.
Michelle, we appreciate your time. I asked you for 20 to 30 minutes. I know we're getting close to that. I know you're a busy lady, but congratulations on your recent success. And, thanks for being open enough to look at the opportunity and then to grab the bulls by the horns and make it happen for you.
Okay, I'll be sure to let you know when my next one comes.
Yeah, let's do that. Thank you so much for your time. You're welcome anytime. You can stick around or not, but I want to be true to my word and, ask for 20 to 30. So I think we're good there. And I do know that Sharon Bicknell just left the closing. So she's probably in her car. I'm not sure if it was from the funnel or not, but Sharon, are you able to talk or are you driving?
Yeah, I can talk. No, it wasn't on the funnel. It was actually a home that I purchased myself for my next fix and flip project.
Oh, good. Well, let me talk.
So it was a very lonely closing because I was, the buyer and the buyer's agent, and then the seller already signed yesterday. So it was me.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about that deal, though, or like Sharon and I talked before, by her doing these funnels, though, helped her to cap faster than she ever has before. And then it also helps her to have 100% commission on her personal deals that are, outside the funnels are the same commission, but, help her fast quicker.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is great. Because I've had several closings this year from the funnel. And so I certainly did cap a lot sooner than I ever have. And yeah, and then I got the 100%. So good point.
That's exciting. All right. Anyone else have any questions for Michelle or Braden before we wrap this up on this Labor Day Friday call? Well, it's okay if you don't, but if you don't, we'll let James or Braden give some final thoughts and get out of here.
My final thoughts is follow the process. I think the better you know the conversion process and the better you follow it, I think you'll see your averages go up. So I don't think you can watch that too many times, at least when you're starting out.
No, you can't. Can I just say that is true? It's
You know,
like I've watched it, and I'm getting to the point where I just, especially that last half, that
yeah,
you teach in that conversion video, and it can be like you said a little bit earlier, it can be a little mundane and stuff. So at those times, I just walk away from it for a minute, take a little break and get back on it. 10 calls a day. It's not that hard to make, but it does make a huge difference following the steps that you teach in there. I've noticed that by making my own mistakes and not doing it exactly in the beginning. And then when I started really just buckling down and rewatch the video again and fine tuning that, well, now I've got 2 pre-approvals. We are currently finding a house to go under contract. I haven't even been doing these ads but a month. And the second I started following the conversion video, the way you teach it's made all the difference.
Well, we appreciate you being coachable, right? Right, Braden?
Sometimes, right?
Well, it's a process, just like everything else. So
Yeah.
it takes what it takes until you get done doing it. But yeah, I don't know. It never ends, really. You can always get better. All right. Levi, you got anything for us? I saw you
always.
in the chat. That's cool. No.
Hey, can I have Braylon, can you check your direct messages?
Hey, Braden, you got a question here.
I'll just real quick. Good stuff, everybody. I love it. I love it. And Braden kind of hit on it. It's really just about following the process. This right here is what started it off for me, and it gets great. Just like you said, at some point in time, you're gonna run into a roadblock to where you're having too much success and you're not able to handle everything on your own, and that's when the problem becomes really, really good. Because at that point in time, it allows you to spend more money, generate more business, grow your team, partner with other agents, get other people to set those appointments, and eventually you make more money and you have more time. So this is the beginning of it. And when I was going through it, I didn't realize that that's what it was growing to. But even to this, I mean, that's the business. That's the business, and that's the process. So kudos to everybody. Michelle, thank you so much. That was so valuable. That was great stuff. That was so good. So good. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you sharing that too, Levi. Hey, Levi, just a quick question on that. You're talking about years ago, Commissions Inc., right?
Yep. We started off Commissions Inc. Yep, right there with you.
Yeah.
And that's how it started.
Same thing. What we were doing was we were doing internet leads to a lead generation website and following up and put them on property alerts. That's just pretty much what we're doing now. So yeah, it was foundation of the business. It changed everything for me. That's what I was talking about at the beginning, to help my business start to have some predictability and a continuous flow that I could turn on. You know, it's not an on-off switch, but it's definitely a dimmer switch that I could turn on, off, up or down. And then anyone that's on here, when you reach that point that you're getting pretty busy, you know, let us know. Let one of the leaders know, or someone that you're close with, because we can help you with that. Maybe it's an admin, maybe it's a contract to close, maybe it's a buyer's agent. Kind of depends on you, right? I don't think there's a blanket answer. There's probably, generally speaking, an answer that's best, but you know, we'll look at your individual situation and find out what's the best next step for you. Mine was a long time ago when I didn't have any help when I was doing this, was just to do more ad spend. So I doubled my ad spend, and then I had more opportunity and had more closings. I also had some fall through the crack, but at that point I was increasing my ad spend because I could financially, and then I was just picking low hanging fruit more so than anything else. So I was like just working with the people that I, you know, could get a hold of and get busy, and then it was just always a matter of you know, do I want to sell 1, 2, or 3 deals that month? It's kind of cool being able to be the you know, the determine that myself and not let the, you know, real estate roller coaster determine that. So this is that. Levi, I appreciate you sharing that. It brings back fond memories of fighting through the beginning. And what I did, I'll just elaborate on this. What I did was I put it on a credit card that I couldn't afford.
Me
Right?
too.
So it had to work. It had to, so that's why sometimes I don't have a whole lot of, I try to have compassion or saying grace for agents, but look, I did this on a credit card I couldn't afford, and I had to call my leads because I had to sell somebody a house, because if I didn't, then my card was going to have a balance that I couldn't afford the monthly, and I was going to have to stop doing it. So then I was going to be in debt on something that didn't work, as opposed to, you know, making this work. So found a guy from Michigan, moving to Atlanta, bought a $374,000 house, paid the card back for the 3 months, set 3 months aside to free roll for the next 3 months, had a closing before that money ran out, and been free rolling ever since. But thank God that broker didn't give me those leads, because I too might have said, these leads aren't very good. Nobody wants to buy a house. I called everybody once. Nobody answered the phone. You know, all the stuff we hear. I couldn't, I was gonna have to go look in the mirror and give that guy the excuse, and then I was gonna have to go to the family and say, uh, got some, you know, got a little bit of a credit card bill here that you're not aware of. So that wouldn't have been a good thing. So yeah, good, Levi, I appreciate you sharing that. Hopefully that was inspirational to someone. Anyone have any final thoughts, or James, what's your thoughts on any of that?
No, I mean, I just agree with that whole process and example that you just gave. I mean, that's, if anybody's, you know, you need to listen to what Dan just said. That was powerful. There's a lot of information in what he was just saying. I think we've all been there and we've done that, spending money that we didn't need to have to spend. But you know, when you do that, it makes you do the things that you know you should be doing. So, I mean, real estate, I mean, honestly, I mean, it comes down to, you know, really the main two, which is lead generation, lead conversion. And that's really what it boils down to. If you know how to generate leads, which, you know, we're proving that we know how to do that. And then, you know, the conversion part of it, you see Michelle, she just basically is just showing that she wants to help, and, you know, and doing her follow-up, and that conversion takes care of itself. So, and then, you know, if you want to get good, get more leads flowing in. Like she said, she got 30 something leads within 30 days. How many people are getting 30 people or 30 opportunities within 30 days? And you know, some situations, depending on where you are, I mean, we're getting like 60 plus in 30 days. So if you're getting that much of opportunities within that time frame and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, I mean, you're bound to run into closings. And it's pipeline driven. So even the people that didn't necessarily do something right then, like she said, she got some other people that are looking to actually do something within a year from now. What she's gonna do is she's gonna follow up with them half the time, 6 months, 5 months. Probably still sending some things in between, put them on some type of alert. And then, I plan on being in business in the next 12 months. So if I meet somebody that's looking to buy something today, or 6 months from now, and I meet somebody that's looking 3 months from now, and I'm saying that's how you have multiple closings because you got those people in your pipeline. So it's just a process: lead generation, lead conversion.
Yeah, I'm gonna still need to eat in a year, so I welcome their business in a year. And an interesting story about that as well is, I mean, now this lead didn't come from my Facebook ad. It's been somebody that I've been nurturing for over a couple of years. They promised me they were going to buy. They had several life events that jumped in the way, but I'm under contract with them now for new construction down in Sun City, a retirement community, and it's great. And it's they became my friends.
That's awesome. Made a new friend too. See, we're supposed to have a little bit of fun here as well. So that's that fits into that category. Part of our core what we're trying to get done. All right. Well, I hope everyone has a happy holiday weekend. I plan on working a little bit and enjoying the family the rest of the time. But anyone have any final words of wisdom, or Braden, you want to wrap us up?
No, I don't got anything else. Appreciate y'all jumping on. As always, if it comes down to the budget, I'd be finding a way to get it done. I'd be finding a way to get a credit card, or I'd be finding a lender or a title company or somebody. And we can help close that deal down too. If they want to get on a call with me or whoever to talk about results, what we're seeing, you know. But if it was me and I was wanting to do some deals, this is a pretty good way to do it. So that's all I got.
Hey, we appreciate that. That is powerful because Braden's dad taught me one time. He said, "How many ways is there to get anything accomplished?" And what he was saying is a whole bunch of different ways. So if you don't have the ad spend, there's probably unlimited number of ways we could help you figure that out too. And Michelle's a lender, so call her. Wait a minute, that won't work. Never mind. Call herself. All right. Yep. Hey, Braden, I'm gonna reach out to you. I just need 2 minutes of your time. We'll go from there.
All right.
Talk to y'all soon. Have a good weekend, everybody. Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you for hopping on the webinar today with Braden Kinder, James Massey, and myself. What I'd like for you to do, if you want to, is hop on my calendar for about a 10-15 minute. I block off 20 minutes on the call, but it's usually like 5-10 minute call, a strategy call. Be happy to answer any questions, tell you exactly how the program works, tell you about the free version, the low cost version, and well, it's the no cost. I don't like saying free, but no cost version, low cost version, and then how we can help you with consistent lead flow, consistent, predictable closings, adding about 1 to 2 closings additional to what you're doing a month to your pipelines. Very realistic. A lot more to the program than we talked about today in the meeting. We also have weekly trainings. We have one-on-one. We have call groups. We have anything and everything you need to help you to be successful in this market and just to thrive. So give me a call, you can give me a call, 678-907-1853, or hop on my calendar. You can scan the QR code or just go to dansleadsclass.com/call. Schedule a call. Happy to talk to you, see if I can help you in your real estate business, and glad to help you any way I can. So hop on my calendar or give me a call. Talk to you soon.